The three major forces were stunned and terrified by the scene unfolding before them, not daring to approach. Such a sight was something they had never witnessed in their entire lives. In Zheng Daxian's eyes, there was a crazed glint. His mouth twitched, barely able to hold back his laughter. No, I can't laugh just yet. We are one step away from victory. That fool, Zhang Yi, has given us such a huge advantage, he thought. Now, with all the leaders of the major bases in Tianhai City, including Bian Junyu, using the ice crystal, all that remained was to eliminate them. This would bring them closer to realizing their dream. On the battlefield, the white light gradually faded. Bian Junyu turned and walked toward Zhang Yi's group. Zhang Yi quickly shut his eyes, pretending as if he had seen nothing. But after a moment, he felt a heavy, steady hand placed on his shoulder, as firm as a towering mountain. Zhang Yi tensed up, and then a cold voice whispered in his ear, "Stop pretending. You watched everything, didn't you?" Zhang Yi smiled wryly and slowly opened his eyes. "You found out, haven't you?" But when he looked at Bian Junyu's face, his smile stiffened. Bian Junyu's expression had grown much colder, and there was a meaningful smirk on his lips. Zhang Yi, with a sincere look in his eyes, said, "Captain Bian, thank you for saving us." Bian Junyu's right hand remained on Zhang Yi's shoulder, and Zhang Yi felt the immense pressure. Even though he knew Bian Junyu didn't have long to live, after using the ice crystal to break through to the epsilon level, Bian Junyu could easily kill him at such close range. Bian Junyu continued, "Your calculations were quite clever. Even I wasn't exempt from your plans." Zhang Yi remained calm, speaking softly. "I didn't want it to come to this. It was a backup plan. There's nothing else I could have done." Zhang Yi wasn't lying. He had prepared 3 scenarios. The first was to leverage Bai Shui sect's fear of the Jiangnan region to force them to loosen their grip on the zombie horde. However, he had overestimated Bai Shui sect's control over the zombies. When the outbreak occurred, Bai Shui sect couldn't manage the chaos, just as with their previous battle with the Eastern bronze-armored flying zombies, who ended up attacking Yuan Kongya and his group. The second plan was to have Bian Junyu and his team use the ice crystal to strengthen their powers and break through the zombie horde. The third plan was for Zhang Yi and his group to abandon Tianhai City and escape before the nuclear weapons were launched. This was a last resort, one that Zhang Yi had hoped wouldn't be necessary since he held no real grudge against Bian Junyu. Bian Junyu shook his head. "It's fine. I don't have much time left anyway. In a way, I should thank you. Without your suggestion, I wouldn't have been able to experience one last glorious moment in my life." He looked down at his hand, trembling slightly. "So, this is what epsilon-level power feels like. It's incredibly strong. It's just a shame there won't be a next time." Suddenly, Bian Junyu's large frame trembled, and the hand resting on Zhang Yi's shoulder gently slipped away. Zhang Yi hurriedly supported him and said, "Don't worry, once you're gone, I'll take care of the remaining issues in Tianhai City." Bian Junyu looked at Zhang Yi skeptically. "It turns out you've been hiding many secrets. What exactly is this?" Bian Junyu didn't have time to wait for Zhang Yi's answer. In the final moments of his life, he experienced a profound transformation and ascended to the peak of his potential, but this consumed the last of his life force. He collapsed into Zhang Yi's arms, never uttering another word. If you're enjoying this gripping story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on Hana Manga Eng. You can also support us and help the channel stay active by donating via PayPal at LDT Group. Every bit of help is appreciated. Soon after, the others realized that the battle had ended. They opened their eyes to find that the battlefield, once filled with thousands of zombies, was now almost empty. Not a single bronze-armored zombie remained, and only a few ordinary zombies had survived, but they posed no threat to the group. Tu Hong Luyen, eyes wide in disbelief, said with a trembling voice, "It's over? It's really over?" She had mentally prepared herself for death, expecting to be overwhelmed by countless zombies. But now everything was different. It felt like she was in a sweet dream. However, the investigation team couldn't celebrate. They knew all too well what it meant for Bian Junyu to have used his power at such a level. Wu Di saw Zhang Yi holding Bian Junyu and threw his head back, crying out in despair, "Boss!" He rushed over, grabbing Bian Junyu from Zhang Yi's arms. His eyes were filled with fear and panic, like a child. Boss! Boss! Wake up! Don't sleep. If you sleep, you'll never wake up again. He kept shouting into Bianjunyu's ear, but there was only silence in response. Usually brash and mischievous, Wu Di now wept like a child. Zhang Yi quietly stepped back, knowing this was a moment for everyone to say their goodbyes. Mantuvu, Baili Changqing, and the others rushed over, surrounding Bianjunyu's body. Their faces were filled with sorrow, but aside from Wu Di, no one cried. They simply placed their right hands over their hearts in silent tribute to Bianjunyu. In this post-apocalyptic world, even warriors like them had seen too many farewells and too much death. This scene was nothing new. Perhaps in the future, it would be the fate of each one of them. No tears or words were necessary, only eternal respect remained in their hearts. Wu Di continued to clutch Bianjunyu's body. Though his back was turned to Zhang Yi could see his shoulders shaking. It was clear that Wu Di's relationship with Bianjunyu wasn't as simple as it seemed. One by one, Wei Dinghai, Xing Tian, and even Zheng Daqian, who had been far away, approached. They hadn't expected things to end this way. Seeing tens of thousands of zombies wiped out, each of them felt a sense of relief. Zheng Daqian was particularly satisfied. Though they had lost countless zombies, these creatures could be regenerated as long as there was enough time and nourishment. But gaining Bianjunyu's powers, that was an unparalleled advantage. It was a huge victory for them. Don't forget to support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing the story on Hana Manga Eng. You can also donate to help us keep the channel running through PayPal at LDT Group. Every bit of support counts, and we truly appreciate it.